Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. As a part of English literature series, in this video we are going to learn about Victorian period. The period between 1837 to 1901 is called as Victorian period. Victorian period was named after Queen Victoria. Queen Victoria reigned in England from 1837 to 1901, and this period is called as Victorian period. This period was marked by social, economic, scientific, technological and cultural changes. So Victorian period is called as transformative period. Victorian period is also known as Age of Novel because the leading literary genre during this period was novel. Victorian period was called by several names. Victorian period is also known as Age of Industrialization because this period was marked by rapid industrial growth and technological advancements. Victorian period is also known as Age of Machinery. This statement was given by Thomas Carlyle. Thomas Carlyle was a famous historian and essayist. Victorian period is also known as Age of Realism because the literary works focused on everyday life and social issues. The novelists during this period focused on depicting the everyday life and struggles of working class people in a realistic way. Victorian period is also known as Age of Progress because of the advancements in science, technology and social reforms of this period. Now we will see an important question on Victorian period. Who referred to the Victorian period as the Age of Machinery? Karl Marx, Thomas Carlyle, Charles Dickens, Queen Victoria? And the answer is Thomas Carlyle. Thomas Carlyle was a famous historian and essayist from Scotland. He called the Victorian period as the Age of Machinery. We can observe various literary groups and literary movements during Victorian period. And the famous group is the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood. The Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood was formed by 7 members in the year 1848. This group includes painters, poets, and art critics. The Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood is a group of artists and writers who valued beauty, morality, and medieval themes in their work. Now we will see the first 7 founding members of the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood. William Holman Hunt, who was a painter, John Everett Millais, who was also a painter, Dante Gabriel Rossetti, who was a painter and poet, William Michael Rossetti, who was an art critic and writer, James Collinson, who was a painter, Frederick George Stephens, who was an art critic and writer, Thomas Woolner, who was a sculptor and poet. These 7 members are the founding members of the group, the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood. Later, so many people joined the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood. So many painters, poets, and art critics joined the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood. The Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood was associated with the journal The Germ. It is very important when it comes to the competitive exams related to English literature. We can expect a question from the journal of the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood. The paintings and the writings written by the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood was published in the journal The Germ. Now we will see the major works written by the members of the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood. Dante Gabriel Rossetti wrote The Blessed Damozel, which is a poem. The House of Life, it is a sonnet sequence. And his sister Christina Rossetti, she wrote Goblin Market and Other Poems. It is a poetry collection. The Princess Progress, a narrative poem. Munna Innominata, it is a sonnet sequence. Now we will see an important question on the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood. The Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood was associated with which literary journal? The Spectator, The Germ, The Yellow Book, Punch. Just now we discussed this topic and the answer is The Germ. The Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood was associated with the journal The Germ. Another popular movement during this period was the aesthetic movement. The writers who involved in this movement give an importance to art and beauty. Their motto is art for art's sake, art for its own sake, beauty and sensuality. The major writers who involved in this movement were Oscar Wilde and Walter Pater. Now we will see some of the major works written by Oscar Wilde. The Picture of Dorian Gray, which was published in the year 1890. The Importance of Being Earnest, which was published in the year 1895. Now we will see some of the major works written by Walter Pater. The Renaissance Studies in Art and Poetry, published in the year 1873. Marius the Epicurean, which was published in the year 1895. Another famous literary group during the Victorian period was the Yellow Book. The Yellow Book was a literary magazine which is famous for its avant-garde and decadent themes. Avant-garde means experimental ideas in the fields of art, music, and literature. Decadent means decline in the morals. The Yellow Book published the works of authors like Oscar Wilde, Henry James, and Arthur Symons. Now we will see the major works of the writers who involved in the magazine The Yellow Book. Oscar Wilde, An Ideal Husband, which was published in the year 1899. A Woman of No Importance, published in the year 1893. These two are the novels. The Soul of Man Under Socialism. These are the collection of essays published in the year 1891. The Ballad of Reading Gaol, which is published in the year 1898. Now we will see the major works written by Henry James. Henry James is famous for The Turn of the Screw, which is published in the year 1898, and his another famous work, The Portrait of a Lady, published in the year 1881. The Wings of the Dove, published in the year 1902. The Ambassadors, published in the year 1903. Now we will see the major works written by Arthur Symons. Celotes, it's a poetry collection published in the year 1892. London Nights, it is also a poetry collection published in the year 1896. That's all for this video. To learn more about Victorian period, watch the Victorian period part 2. For more interesting videos on English literature, visit my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.